Welcome back, grade 8, to another religious education class. We're going to continue with holy places, but this time our focus topic will be on Hindu holy places. Now, Hindu holy places are located in India, and as we're all aware, Hinduism was originated in India. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define key terms such as holy rivers, holy mountains, river Ganges, Himalayas, Varanasi, Mela, Karma, Ghats, Guru, Shiva, reincarnation, moksha, and cremation. You will also discuss the importance of the river Ganges to Hindus, list two places considered holy in Hinduism, explain why Varanasi is the most holy city in Hinduism. You're going to examine the activities done at River Ganges and, of course, show appreciation for the purpose of holy places in the lives of Hindus. Before we continue with the lesson, please take some time to read through the following definitions. And feel free to pause the video if the slides are going too fast. Hindu pilgrimage. Now, in Hinduism, pilgrimage are called yatras. That is Yatras, yatras. There is no obligation on Hindus to go on pilgrimage, but many do so for the following reasons. Hindu holy books mention early pilgrimages, and Hindus followed these examples. 2. Hindus believe that some holy places can help them to achieve moksha and grow in their faith. Now, in the definitions, you read that moksha is the liberation from reincarnation. Now, you know that Hindus believe in reincarnation, which is the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Now, many Hindus would work towards not having to go through this and instead be one with their ultimate god Brahman. So visiting some holy places would help them to achieve this. 3. Many places of pilgrimage in Hinduism are associated with health. For example, they may go to a river for healing. Hindus often go on pilgrimage on behalf of people who have died. It is important for Hindus to see places where miraculous events associated with deities happen. And finally, pilgrimage helps Hindus to feel closer to Brahman, their ultimate god. Holy rivers. In some religions, there are rivers that are considered holy or which have special significance. For example, in Christianity, the River Jordan is a river in which Christ was baptized. Sometimes pilgrims make a journey to the riverbank and baptisms are held in the water. Christians may also take home a bottle of the water, perhaps for the use of baptism in their own country. However, most of the holy rivers in the world are in India and are sacred to Hindus. India has 7 holy rivers, and Hindus believe that bathing in any of these removes bad karma, if you want to say bad luck, or removes sin. If a person's ashes are scattered on the waters of the holy river, his or her soul will be released, will be able to move on to the next life with the hope that eventually the soul will be released from the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, in which everyone is caught up. And if you remember the previous slide, we explained that the release from the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth is called moksha. That's correct. Now in India, there are 7 rivers that are considered holy. I want you to take some time to observe these 2 slides with these rivers, and of course, if the slide goes too fast, feel free to pause. The River Ganges. The most sacred of Hindu holy rivers is the River Ganges. The Ganges is so sacred to Hindus that even to call Ganja Ganja within 55 kilometers of the river will make amends for sins committed in the past. The source of a river is always spiritually important to Hindus. The source of the river Ganges is the Himalayas mountain, and it is visited by thousands of pilgrims each year. Also, if 2 rivers meet, that place is also spiritually important. The Ganges and its tributary, the Varuna, meet at Varanasi, the holiest city in the Hindu world. What takes place at the River Ganges? One of the main events that takes place there is a huge bathing fair, which is called Mela. These are held every 12 years in the River Ganges, which attracts millions of pilgrims. A recent Mela attracts over 9 million people, making this the largest of all religious pilgrims. Hindus also go there for healing. The waters are used for healing, and Hindus who are ill try to reach a river so that they can drink the sacred water. Those who are dying may ask to be taken to the river. After death, cremation is carried out and sacred marigold leaves are scattered on the water. It is the dearest wish of every Hindu to die in the Varanasi and to have his or her ashes scattered on the river Ganges. Okay, you're going to answer the following questions after watching the upcoming video. I am sure you already have your notebooks and pens with you, so be sure to write down the questions so you can answer as the video plays. You're going to give another name for the Ganges. You're going to name the goddess of purification. What do Hindus believe about bathing in the Ganges? State what is the traditional belief about cremation, and list 4 reasons why people visit the Ganges.
Ganges or Ganga, The sacred river for hundreds of millions in India and around the world begins from the Gangotri Glacier in western Himalayas in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand. After traveling for 2,510 kilometers, Ganga joins the Brahmaputra River, and together they form the largest delta of the world at the Bay of Bengal, between India and Bangladesh. Its Hindi name Ganga is also the goddess of purification, and devotees believe that bathing in its waters or scattering the ashes of the dead in it, their souls will be purified and will attain nirvana, that is the heaven for the Hindus. Likewise, tradition says that bodies should be cremated on the banks of the Ganges and other rivers like the Yamuna, and the ashes should be immersed in the water in order to be purified and reach salvation. The government of India has launched an action plan to preserve this abundant water mass. Hindus, as well as followers of other religions, travel each year to the Ganges to take a dip in its waters, seeking purification. The Kumbh, the largest manifestation of spirituality in the world, takes place 4 times in a 12-year period. It is a unique, impressive event of spiritual expression, inscribed on the UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Dozens of millions of human beings travel here in search of purification and immortality. This year, from January the 14th to the 4th of March, more than 150 million people bathe in the river, according to the local authorities. From Allahabad, India, Martin Hackton for Prensa Latina.
The holy city of Varanasi. Now, Varanasi is the home of the river Ganges. Varanasi is the holiest city for Hindus because of its location where the Ganges meets its tributary, the Varuna. Varanasi is holy because of the Hindu belief that the god Shiva once lived there. The city attracts over 1 million pilgrims each year, who between them visits 1,000 temples in the city dedicated to Shiva alone. Along the 5-kilometer stretch of the river Ganges in Varanasi are steps called the Ghats. The Ghats. If you should visit the river Ganges, one of the first things that you will see are steps that lead down to the river. These steps used to step down to the river Ganges. Gurus or holy men or holy teacher sits on these ghats and teach people about different aspects of Hindu belief and life. Many Hindu go to the ghats to listen to famous teacher or to spend time meditating or learning yoga.
One of the holiest sites in India is Varanasi, located along the banks of the river Ganges. Each year, millions of pilgrims come to visit the sacred city, also known as Banaras or Kashi, the city of light. The principal deity here is Shiva. He and other gods and goddesses are worshipped at thousands of temples throughout the city. Stone steps called ghats lead pilgrims down to the river. Every morning, devotees can be found immersing themselves in the holy waters, chanting to the rising sun. The waters are thought to clean and purify. Along the ghats are platforms where Brahmin priests and other holy men dispense prayers, debate texts, and conduct various rituals. The riverfront is a meeting place. There are beggars and astrologers, tourists renting boats, and men offering haircuts and massages. Varanasi is a center of pilgrimage, scholarship, and tourism.
5 men, 5 masters.
But it is also a place where the old come to die, to be liberated from the cycle of rebirths, to be released from suffering. The dead are cremated here, and their ashes are strewn in the holy waters of the Ganges.
Apart from Varanasi, there are 4 other important places of pilgrimage in India. They are at the 4 corners of the country. They are Puri, which is on the east coast, Badrinath, which is on the north coast, Dwarka on the west. These are 3 temples which are dedicated to Vishnu. Then there is Rameshwaram in the south, which is a temple dedicated to Shiva. Many pilgrims try to visit all 4 temples sometimes in their life. Now we're almost at the end of this lesson. We're at that part where you're going to check your learning. Please answer the following questions from these 2 slides. And as usual, pause the video if they're moving too fast. Thank you for tuning in. And as always,